does Hideo Kojima get his ideas? In this podcast, we take a deep dive into his brain and shed light on his creative process. Hideo Kojima presents Brain Structure.
こんにちは、小島秀夫です。ポッドキャストプログラム、Hideo Kojima Presents Brain Structure.
Hello, I'm Hideo Kojima. Welcome to another episode of Hideo Kojima Presents Brain Structure. Here with me today is my partner for the show.
Hello, Brains here. Today, we have a very special guest from India.
Yes, I'm feeling very RRR.
Our guest today is here in Japan right now. He's known for directing films such as Magadira, Iga the Fly, and India's highest-grossing film of all time, Bahubali 2, The Conclusion. Please welcome Mr. S.S. Rajamouli.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm so honored that he likes my films. Kojima-san likes my films. I'm so honored, and thank you so much for doing this. Thank you very much.
ようこそお越しくださいまして。
Thank you, and welcome to the show. We're honored you could join us.
So Mr. Rajamouli's latest film, RRR, it has got you very excited, yes?
上がりまくり。
Yes, I'm very hyped about it. I'm definitely going to go see it again next time in IMAX.
The visuals seem very intense.
Yes, it's like RRRRRR. It should be called IMAX R.
Allow me to introduce the movie. A young girl is taken by the British military during their occupation of India in 1920. Enraged and determined to save the girl, Bheem finds himself at odds with Rama, an ambitious officer of the Indian Imperial Police Force. Without knowing each other's identities, as if brought together by destiny, the two form a unique friendship. But after a certain incident, the two are forced to choose between their friendship or their duties.
Old Hong Kong movies had themes similar to this, where friends and family are divided and become enemies.
Yes, and they must choose how to move forward. This film boasts the largest production cost in history for Indian cinema, far exceeding the cost of the two Bahubali films combined. In dollars, it was around $65 million.
すごいですね、ラージャモリ監督使いすぎじゃないですか。大丈夫ですか？
Wow, are you okay, Mr. Rajamouli? Did you spend too much?
I don't know. Maybe about 30% was overspent, and a part of it was because we were shooting for during suddenly the pandemic, the COVID came through, so we had to stop the film for a period of 9 months. But we were still paying the salaries of all the many of the workers and who were working. We still had to pay them for some time. So that also caused a little bit increase in the budget. But at the same time, I also went overboard.
コジプロなんてね、パンデミック中ずっと給料払ってます。
Kojima Productions too. We still have to pay our staff.
Everyone everywhere is facing similar struggles, I see.
Maybe for your next film, you can double the budget. But really, even with $65 million, not anyone can make a film like this.
Coming from him, it's too much of a compliment.
So, Mr. Kojima, would you mind telling us what you thought about the movie?
なんていうか、今はまあ、
Right now, there's a pandemic, a war in Ukraine, price increases everywhere, the threat of missiles from North Korea. It's really one of the darkest times in history for me. It may become like the Cuban Missile Crisis. And in these dark times, this film gave me courage and laughter and tears from how moved I was. There is the bond of friendship too. I really felt the power of entertainment. Another movie equivalent to RRR's level of entertainment success was Top Gun: Maverick with Tom Cruise. Receiving encouragement and energy through entertainment is a necessity. I think there needs to be 100 R's from what you have achieved through this film.
Thank you so much for that. For a long time, I believed that entertainment is very, very essential for people. I have been saying that in a lot of interviews. You take any person, whether it's a daily laborer who is doing a lot of physical work or a very intelligent guy who is doing a lot of mental work. At the end of the day, they need to get out of their daily lives, and they need something which will replenish them, which will re-energize them to go on with their life forward. I think entertainment is that, and storytelling is the thing that provides that. I take entertainment as a very serious business.
ラジャマウリ監督の映画って、インド映画
I think your films have changed Indian cinema and brought it to a whole new level. There's singing and dancing, but you have also added action, including wire action and VFX. And you also incorporate all elements of Hollywood entertainment, but still make it an original piece of work. But at the core of all that, there is the beauty of humanity in the form of friendship, physicality, dancing, and so on. In this world that has become so digital, you shine a light on the beauty and instincts of human beings as living creatures. And I think that's what sets your movies apart from all the rest.
Again, thank you again. Like you were saying, I would really like to keep, even though I get inspired a lot from all the Western filmmaking, get inspired a lot by the Western filmmaking. My core storytelling remains Indian. The way of narrating the stories remains Indian. But again, the emotions, I believe, are universal. Whether it is the friendship or mother-daughter, son-father, wife-husband, the relationships don't change across the world. It is the same across the world.
Mr. Kojima, were there any scenes or certain forms of expression that really stood out to you?
いっぱいありますけど
There is a lot. For example, when the tigers and other animals appear, but also the scene at the beginning with the rebels. If you just saw the script, you would think, oh, we can't shoot this. But Mr. Rajamouli made it possible, so it really took me by surprise as a fellow creator.
Yeah, the Ram going into the number of people, I had a doubt from the beginning whether I could pull it off or not. So I always thought until about a month and a half into the shoot, I was still thinking maybe I can't pull this off. I need to think of another episode. But luckily, I had a choreographer in India. His name is Solomon, who worked very, very hard for a month to really make it possible, to make it look it can be done.
僕一番好きなシーンはラーマとビームが
My favorite scene was when Rama and Beam meet and they dance for the first time. That dance reminded me of Singing in the Rain, which I love. They're up there with Gene Kelly's tap dancing. It's hard to believe they're human. So the fact that it's not CG is amazing, but also how they're dancing is a driving force is wonderful. You can see their bond, and when the girl is there and he pretends to give up, they act out the scene with hardly any dialogue. They use their dancing to convey this, and it's really great.
Yeah, I would really believe that a film is a visual medium and try to tell as much as possible without actually speaking in dialogue, trying to convey with either performance or dance or anything. Without dialogue, it would be a great thing to do for a filmmaker.
もう一個こうネタバレしない
I don't want to give any spoilers, but at the beginning, Rama and Beam rescue a boy separately. They grab each other's arm, and they become friends, although they go their separate ways at one point. Anyways, later during the rescue scene, they have that fight on their shoulders. I think it's very iconic. Their relationship is shown through this physical expression. First, there's the drama with the dancing, and they go their own ways, and then reunite in this form. It's really an amazing idea.
Yeah, both are big heroes, and from the beginning itself, we know, even before they become friends, we know that they're enemies by their aim. So once they realize and once they separate and once the misunderstanding is over, when they come together, I really wanted them to be doing something unimaginably big. So I thought, okay, physically, let's make them together. Let's make them, instead of two people, it is one big giant who is 10 feet tall and 4 hands. So that's how the on-shoulder episode came about.
Mr. Rajamouli, you spent about 3 years working on RRR, and following your success with Bahubali 2, you must have really put a lot of thought into what your next project should be. The setting in RRR is 1920, but the story is, in some ways, in sync with our world today. What were your thoughts behind choosing this particular subject matter?
Actually, for me, I don't look much about what is happening in the world. I would really like to look at how can I make my actors really feel emotional about each other. So that's how I look at it. Again, when we stay true to the emotions of the characters, I think that will definitely reflect what's happening around in the world. Because all the things that you are mentioning, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's a war, whether it's anything, it's about human pain or human sacrifice or plain human emotions. So they automatically, I think, they will connect.
It's universal. So, Mr. Kojima, you were talking about expression without dialogue earlier. Does this connect back to games in any way?
ゲームはプレイヤーがアクションをするのでちょっと違う。
In games, the player must activate the action, so it's a slightly different mechanism. In moving pictures, the word cinema originated from kinematograph, and the foundation still lies there. Actors like Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton gave it their all in movies without any dialogue. But then talkies took over, and sound and music were added. But what's still fundamental in moving pictures is the movement. You can convey emotions and tell a story through movement, and that's the power of movies. I think there are people who have forgotten all that. But you are doing exactly that, the essence of films. For example, the movie Mad Max barely had any dialogue. But anyways, setting aside whether or not more or less dialogue is good or bad, I think the foundation of movies is in movement.
Definitely less words. I mean, I have been watching your Death Stranding game cinematic before I came here. The way the man is carrying something and you track along with him, you are about to enter into a tunnel and the tanks are passing over the head, and you come here, the blood is flowing through the bricks, is like, and every image is pulling you into the story. You want to know what happened. I don't know what is the story behind. I don't know what is the story afterward. And afterwards, the actor turns towards the camera. You see he's carrying something, and you put the light on. There is a baby, and I'm sold. I don't want to play the game. I want to see the movie. Show me the movie. I can't spend so much of time playing to play the game to understand the movie. Just give me the movie. There is not one single dialogue in the whole thing, but it conveys so much. Definitely, of course there is music, of course there is dialogue. All those things are to enhance the emotion, but not actually we shouldn't use them too much. We use them less and make the actors, your framing skill, your taking skill, your writing skill to convey all the emotions that need to be told to the audience.
ありがたい。ゲームのプレイヤーって動かすんですけど。
Wow, thank you. So in games, the user moves the player and they can't really talk. So amidst this limitation, it's about how much storytelling I can incorporate. And players can go left or right, but I can't control the timeline, unlike with movies. That's the hard part. But with that in mind, I would like to try something new.
Will be actually as I see more of his game cinematics, I would really like him to direct a movie so we can experience all his brilliance in a short period of time.
97億使って。
Perhaps with $65 million.
Mr. Rajamouli would like for you to film a movie, Mr. Kojima.
そうです映画
Yes, I do get offers, and I would like to, but I just don't have the time. Say I spend 1 year doing a movie. What would my staff do for a year? But I am seeking ways to try to make it work.
Of course, and all his millions of fans across the world who are gamers, probably they want him to make him create games.
Mr. Kojima, are there things that you can express better through games rather than through movies? Perhaps any limitations that movies may have that games don't?
Well, I don't know about limitations necessarily, but there's more freedom in games. And that's what makes it fun. It's interactive. But if you make everything too open, then it just becomes about ordinary life.
I see.
プレイヤーは
The player won't be able to become a hero. So you have to cover up that ordinary parts and lead people in a certain direction where they'll think, maybe I can become a hero. So that's what's different from movies.
I couldn't play games. I don't find time to play games, video games now, but I used to play about 15 years back. And even then I would take a long time because instead of playing, I'll be looking at the worlds that are being created. I'll make the characters stay and just move around and see the world. I'd spend more time watching the world rather than playing.
Sounds very similar to Mr. Oshii.
そうです
Yeah.
Mr. Rajamouli, have you ever thought about designing a game? Do you have any interest in anything like that? Or have any inspirations from seeing Mr. Kojima's work?
I wanted to, but then I realized game development is not just writing a story. Writing a story is a small part of it. You need to understand a lot more about game engineering. What are the things that you do, what you do not do. It's not simple as just sitting and writing. It's such a long creative process, and I thought I can't do this, but I get I see the game cinematics a lot. One that differentiates Kojima-san's game cinematics from others is the hard-hitting emotions that makes you involved with the characters very, very quickly. So that's one thing I noticed that is quite different. That differentiates him and other game developers.
なるほど技術的なことは僕が
Thank you. I can take care of technical aspects. So if you're ever interested, let me know.
If you can take me as an assistant, I would happy to join.
いやいや僕肩車
Well, I will carry you on my shoulders.
It seems like something really fun could be created from the two of you.
うんいやもうそりゃそうでしょ
Oh yeah, for sure. It'll be like RRR and H for Hideo. So RRR, HHH, or RH. We should call it RH Games.
I feel like the goals you two have, what both of you are aiming for, are quite similar.
そうですまあ10歳ぐらい年は違うんですけど
Yeah, we have a 10-year age difference, but I do feel like we have things in common. I'm very much interested in films and novels from all over the world, but I am, after all, Japanese, so I try to make the most out of that in my creativity.
Yeah, I see so much of difference in the way I just see his game cinematics, his storytelling is placed, and my kind of storytelling is placed. They're so different, but at the same way, like he said, I can see there is a kind of soul connection between his storytelling and mine. I can't pinpointedly say what it is, but I feel a connection.
はいもうじゃあ肩車してる
We're already on each other's shoulders.
Maybe this is the beginning of a potential future project between the two of you. However, as the excitement grows, we are unfortunately running out of time. So, Mr. Rajamouli, please, if you have any words for our podcast listeners.
Yep. Thank you. And I almost feel like Kojima-san is presenting my film RRR in Japan. Well, the film, the thing about RRR is, like as we discussed, it's about friendship between two great guys, two strong people who doesn't know what their strength is, and they're initially pitted against each other, but they realize they join hands together and do something great. But for the viewers who come into the film, one thing I can promise is like you will be on the edge of your seats every 10 minutes, once in every 10 minutes. Yeah. Whether it is action, fighting, fun, dancing, whatever it is, you'll be on the edge of the seats every 10 minutes.
いやバーフバリは
Bahubali was 5 or 6 years ago now, and it was a major hit here in Japan. A lot of women went to go see it, and I think RRR can be enjoyed not just by women, but also men, children, the elderly, just about everyone. So I hope you will all go see it. You know, I bet people who go see it with their friends will come out of the theaters carrying them on their shoulders. Maybe that's trending right now.
Yeah.
If you go to Shibuya, you might catch people doing that.
And maybe also dancing on the Shibuya crossing, doing the natu step.
あんな踊りできませんけど
No one can do that dance.
It's extremely difficult, but sounds like a fun challenge. Well, there we have it. Thank you, Mr. Rajamouli.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you.
はい、さて早くもエンディングのお時間です
It's time to wrap up today's episode.
What did you think, Mr. Kojima?
I love him. He's wonderful.
He's a very lovely person. What is your impression of Mr. Rajamouli upon having met him?
やっぱりああいう煮えたぎ流の映画
Those who make passionate movies like that with endless explosion and intensity actually tend to be very quiet, intellectual people.
He was quite different from the impression I got from the film.
すごい優しい温和な感じなんですけど
Yeah, he has a very kind and gentle personality. But inside his mind, his synapses are firing away and boiling with ideas, and he burns it onto film. Well, I'm sure there are some people who have never watched Indian cinema, but you can enjoy this film without any previous knowledge. The themes are relatable, like friendship and betrayal. Everyone will definitely like it. You can go see it with friends or your significant other or even by yourself. Either way, you're going to have a great time.
And it's Asian. It's different from Western films. I think that culture is closer to what Japanese people may resonate with.
Yes, I agree. And in Mr. Rajamouli's films, the main characters always take their clothes off. Same with my games. But the beauty of their well-proportioned bodies, it's more relatable to Asian people, I think. Looking at like the muscles and the fat.
It's different from Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a bit different. The muscles and such.
Well, next time it will be RH, I believe.
RRRHHHRH
Something like RRRHHHRHRH.
I love it. I'm looking forward to seeing what becomes of this.
This happens every time.
Your list of future projects just keeps growing through this podcast.
ジョーダンさんとも
Well, I think I'll meet up with Jordan Peele soon, and we might talk about doing something together, but I'll never have enough bodies to get it all done.
Something amazing may be born from this podcast. Good things might happen if you keep listening.
いやいいことあります
Oh, definitely. My ranking hasn't been so great, though.
Everyone, please continue listening so we can be number one.
いやいや最初ね
It's not that I care so much about it, but we were at number 1 and then dropped dramatically.
It does depend on the day and fluctuates from time to time.
上がる上がる
Let's R, as in raise our ranking.
We really are in the spirit of this movie. Well, here's to hoping we become number one. Thank you, everyone.
ということで、来週の秀夫小島プレゼンツ、ブレインストラクチャー
Join me again next week on another episode of Hideo Kojima Presents Brain Structure.
さようなら
Hideo Kojima Presents Brain Structure is a production by Spotify Studios in association with Kojima Productions and Fam Inc. Brains, Kayleen Falls. Narrator, Owen Maki. Music, Silent Poets. Visual design, Meiji Kuro. Producer, Hiro Furuki. Director, Kohei Takizawa. Executive producer at Spotify, Asami Sekine. Special thanks to Kojima Productions, Ayako Terashima, Masafumi Chiba, Miki Suga, and Aki Saito. Hosted by Hideo Kojima.
Wow, that was an intense talk about RRR. We need to see RRR in IMAX this weekend. On the next episode, it's a TGA, the Jeff's Answer special. Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima talk about rumors on the internet. So stay tuned.